This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
I'm just seeing this story. There was a comment on the chat line about it, but I guess free speech doesn't exist for Dallas Maverick fans. They're still...
I'm sorry, were they arrested by the FBI?
No.
They weren't, right?
No.
Their freedom of speech is fully intact. They were just asked to leave the premises.
Wow.
This is a big issue for me. We're going to get the First Amendment right. Okay?
I'm fully on board with Jeff.
Congress shall pass no law. It doesn't bother me that people don't know all the intricacies of it. They don't have it memorized. It bothers me they don't know the first four words.
Okay, so just saying fire Nico, the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, because you're not happy about the trade should warrant you to get kicked out of a basketball game?
It's their building. If Brad hears you say
the rules have been
something
in place before this happened. So.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that
this
was
is a long-standing rule.
You're going to need to tell the story now.
I understand.
Yeah.
So apparently, a fan in the stands had a sign that said "Fire Nico," and then also they were doing some kind of karaoke, and they showed him on the big screen, and he was seen mouthing "Fire Nico." And this is in regards to Nico Harrison, the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, who is the one that pulled the trigger to trade Luka Doncic and bring in Anthony Davis. And now Anthony Davis is hurt, and Laker fans will be like, "Hey, nothing to see here." That's all we've seen from Anthony Davis. It seems like is him getting hurt.
I think they've probably seen more than that, considering that he's made 10 straight All-Stars, and he was just on the Olympic team and all that. I think he's been more than just injured.
Yeah, I understand that.
He's been injured, yes, okay, but he's also been one of the best centers in the league.
So I guess I feel like that you should at least be able to have a sign up or at least say something. But you're right; it is their building. It is, I guess, their right to do that, to take him out. There have been reports that Nico Harrison has been subjected to death threats. The Mavericks beat writer, though, reached out to the Dallas police, and they said that there were no known threats to Nico Harrison. And then Luka goes out and scores 14 points last night for the Lakers. So he's going to get himself right.
I was as shocked as anybody else of the trade. Okay, I'm just first to say that. I look at it on the surface and as somebody that doesn't pay attention to the NBA, but that I enjoy watching Luka. I look at it initially and I'm like, holy cow, that's shocking, right? I mean, this is a guy that
face of the franchise,
one of the faces of the NBA, right? One of the two or three guys, okay? But then I became interested in the finals last year, and after not really paying much attention, and it was clear the dude was overweight, out of shape, and made no effort to play any defense, none whatsoever. Okay, while at the same time, man, I love watching him play offense. Okay, he's got effort and energy there. Okay, even though he does it in slow motion, it feels like. Okay, great player, no question. So much fun to watch. Okay, but if the Mavericks felt like, and this thought that Luka was, Luka didn't see this coming or whatever. I'm sure he didn't, but do you think the Mavericks at any point explained to him, dude, we need you to lose weight.
I'm sure
we
they did.
We need you to stop being hurt because you're overweight.
Get yourself in shape.
Like it just was happening this year. Get yourself in shape so you can be on the court. It's funny, everybody talks about Anthony Davis being hurt, but Luka's hurt a bunch too.
Yeah, he hadn't played since Christmas.
Yeah, nobody mentions that, okay? Nobody talks about that, all right? But the part again, shocked by the whole thing, but like the outrage of, they didn't, Nobody gave Luka a chance. You don't think those coaches and that staff, that GM, like, Luka, we need you to get in shape. We need you to be dedicated to this team. Again, you hear the saying all the time. It's the best for a coach when they know his best player is their hardest working player. Well, what if your best player clearly is showing no effort? Okay? It's not good for a team. It doesn't make for good chemistry. Okay, it doesn't set a good example.
No, you're right on all. You're right on all those things.
But the thing that bothers me the most about this whole deal is this outrage. These people that want their money back. These people that are like, I don't know, that are just like over the top with this. Like they've ruined their. Hey, it's a sports franchise and it's their business, and they have the right to do what they want to try to improve their business.
Okay.
Their franchise. They have the right to do that.
No,
you bought Dallas Mavericks season tickets, not Luka Doncic's season tickets.
I don't disagree with you on that. I guess the only thing I'm looking at this and going, it seems pretty innocent. The guy, sports fans for years have brought signs to games.
Yeah, and I'm also not a sign guy either because it gets in the way of other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but okay, just for him mouthing the words "fire Luka" or "fire Nico" on a karaoke.
I don't think that's what got him booted.
Do you think it was the sign, or do you think there's more there than what we don't know?
Okay, well, they have rules against the signs, and that was in place long before this. Okay, they're probably a little bit more sensitive about it right now.
Probably so. Yeah.
And the other guy that got tossed was in a screaming match with Mark Cuban.
Well, that guy probably deserved it.
Okay, and he was intoxicated and all the above, but nobody brings that part up, right? It was that he had a disagreement, like he tapped somebody on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I didn't really like the trade. Nope, you're out of here." No, I think we're painting a little bit different picture of what was reality. So, I just think these Mavs fans are just out of touch, man.
Okay.
Also remember.
First of all, Mark Cuban doesn't even own the team anymore.
I know. I have lived through my favorite player being traded from my team, and at no point did I turn on my favorite team. People are just different now.
Yeah. Okay. Just thought that on the surface, start peeling back the onion a little bit.
You act like they were arrested and put away. They were told to leave.
The Gestapo came after them, and
they were told to leave.
Put them in a cave somewhere and threw away the key. Well, the drunken guy got what he deserved with regard to. You can't do that.
Again, and I think the move was crazy. I get it. Okay, I get that fans are disappointed. I get that they're angry or whatever. But if you're going to the game now just to complain about the GM, get a grip, man. Get a grip. Where were those people the first game when Anthony Davis played great? We didn't see any of this, right?
We're excited.
Yeah, now that he's hurt, all of a sudden.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
The Morning Drive, time for this day in sports history. Today is February 11th, 2025. Here's Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
Starting in 1965, Braves proposed to pay 5 cents from each ticket to bring a new team to Milwaukee.
Okay.
The Braves were about to head to Boston. No.
They were heading to Atlanta. Yeah.
And then they hadn't gotten the Brewers yet. So that's what they were going to use to help sweeten the pot. 1973, Philadelphia 76ers lose their 20th consecutive NBA game. That's a lot. 1995, Lance Hughes has 32 points, and an eventual Southwest Conference champion Texas Tech Red Raiders beat the Baylor Bears 122-91 in their fourth successive 9-game win streak.
Man, he had a sweet shot. He could really bring it from the outside.
1997, Bill Parcells becomes the head coach of the New York Jets. Got in the playoffs. 2001, 50th NBA All-Star Game took place in Washington, D.C. East beats West, 111-110. Allen Iverson, your MVP. It is National Peppermint Patty Day. So, go watch some Charlie Brown.
Big fan of the peppermint patty. You like the peppermint patty?
I do not.
Oh.
I do not.
Happy birthday to former Red Raider basketball players. Tony Battie is 49, and Ronald Ross is 42.
Your classmate, Tony Battie.
That's right. The Batman.
Jennifer Aniston, 56, Sheryl Crow, 63, Sarah Palin, 61, Jed Bush, 72, and Josh Jacobs is 27. And on this day in 1990, Nelson Mandela, leader of the movement to end the South African apartheid system, is released from prison after 27 years. And that is This Day in Sports History.
All right, This Day in Sports History, 6:47 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Com for that of the mobile app. The mobile app is presented by Happy State Bank. Peanut patty is better.
Peanut patty?
I'm not familiar with the peanut patty. Jeff? Peanut patty?
I am. I like peanuts. The peanut patty has it's like it's that pink disc that's got the peanuts on it.
Oh, I don't care for that at all.
There's a lot of sugar there.
Yeah.
Pink disc with
it's
used to get those like at the roadside, convenience store that was famous across America. What was the name of those places?
Don't know.
Okay, somebody
7-Eleven.
No. This was along the interstates. They all looked the same. I mean, it was a convenience store before really convenience stores took off. This is a 60s, 70s thing. Somebody will help me with this. This is from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Apparently, in the Slayton girls game that they beat Canadian by 41-38 in overtime. It was a corner three. That went right off before the buzzer.
Sweet.
Both my wife and Mike Gustafson, Stuckies is what I was looking for. Thank you. Stuckies, yeah. Yeah, Stuckies.
I don't know that I've ever heard of Stuckies.
Yeah, it's
why do I not know? Was that
that's kind of before your like if you traveled across America, there was a Stuckies at every major intersection along the interstate. Okay. Stuckies and they had those big huge peppermint patties. Okay, and they're just disgusting. Somebody on the chat line got it as well. Peanut brittle. Somebody says that.
Now I am a huge fan of peanut brittle.
Yeah, Jamie, peanut brittle.
Some awesome stuff.
Peanut brittle, okay.
Yeah, it's just on certain times.
I'm not saying it's my favorite, but every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah, certain times of year, like now, seems like a great time.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, great time. Next week, all the time.
Yeah. My friend Dane also Stuckies. And Chris needs Stuckies. Yeah, a lot of people bringing, familiar with the Stuckies. I think you got to be a little bit of a certain age. You're not maybe quite to that age yet.
Okay.
Or you weren't that age when Stuckies was most popular. Okay.
I didn't do a lot of traveling, so maybe that's why
Dan in Dallas Stuckies. Okay, yeah, we got it. We got it.
We got a smart audience. I like it.
We do have a smart audience. Sometimes the audience is smarter than you want them to be. 6:50 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Hey, did you see this? When I saw this, I think they got it right. This is for the Baseball Hall of Fame. Those to be inducted this coming summer. I believe it's going to be in August. Hall of Fame announcing the cap for each one of the players. Okay. Dick Allen will go in with the Phillies. He was also known as Richie Allen. He won an MVP with the White Sox, but 9 of his 15 years with the Phillies. Okay. Dave Parker goes in with the Pirates. I mean, I think of Dave Parker, I think of the Pirates. Mm-hmm. He played with another team, won a World Series with another team, but his big World Series in '79 was won with the Pirates. CC Sabathia.
Okay.
Yankees.
I mean, again, it's a player's choice, right?
Well, no, not totally. It's the Hall of Fame's choice with input from the player. The player can't just say that they want their cap to be X. He won his World Series with the Yankees. He won a Cy Young with Cleveland, but he was with New York for 11 of his 19 seasons. So it makes the most sense for him to be with the Yankees cap. The Baseball Hall of Fame makes the final decision, but they accept guidance from each inductee, which seems odd to me.
Well, the where that comes from is when the Rays were trying to buy a Hall of Famer, and they were offering people, hey, if you wear our hat in the Hall of Fame because you're about to be a Hall of Famer when you retire, we'll add an extra $1 million to your contract or whatever it was. Major League Baseball got wind of that, and that's when they took it away from the players completely. If a player wants to have a no hat because they have a bunch of fan bases, they don't want to upset either one of them, they can do that. If there's one that they don't want because of bad feelings toward each other on the way out the door, that'll be taken into consideration. But you can say this is the one I want, but they're going to choose the one after that they decide you're going to wear.
Who do you think of when you think of Dave Winfield?
Padres.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I do. That's the first name. That's first because I know he played for the Yankees and obviously played for the Minnesota and won a World Series there.
No, won a World Series with the Blue Jays.
Oh, with the Blue Jays. Okay.
Played for Minnesota, Cleveland, Angels.
Yeah, I think Minnesota
Yankees.
is where I go.
What?
Where do you go?
Time frame.
Do you go Yankees?
Yeah, I mean, he played for the Yankees the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, by far the Yankees the most.
Okay.
I would have guessed, and I would guess baseball fans of that era would think of Winfield as a Yankee, but he went in as Padre because, I mean, obviously he had beef with George. So.
Ichiro is going to go in as a Mariner. That's a no-brainer. And Billy Wagner as an Astro.
Good.
So
he was good with the Mets too, but yeah, I think of him as an Astro.
Yeah,
and that's good for the Astros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was with the Astros for 9 of his 16 seasons and saved 225 of his 422 games with the Astros.
Yeah.
So I don't have any beef with any of that. How about Jeff bringing the knowledge today, man? In the last half hour, you have been just nails, showing your 1%er status.
We're talking about the Hall of Fame. And we're talking about the First Amendment, which governs what we get to do.
I understand, but I mean...
There's some things you should pay attention to.
I got it, but I mean, just to, boom, write it off the roll of your tongue like walking around knowledge. You didn't have to Google it or anything along those lines.
I wish some people would from time to time, though.
Yeah. Stuckey's was also famous for their pecan log roll, which was disgusting on several levels. I completely agree.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
We're 12 hours, 15 minutes away from some high school hoops. The Liberty boys play at San Angelo Lakeview. We'll have that for you at 7:30 this evening on 93.1 Yes FM. And then the Friendship boys conclude their regular season as well tonight. They'll take on Permian at the Tiger Pit. We'll have that for you at 7:30 tonight here on Double T 97.3. UConn, the two-time defending champion, they'll play at Creighton tonight. We'll have that game for you on 100.7 The Score at 7:45. UConn now out of the top 25, Jamie.
Yeah, it feels like they're deserving of that.
Yeah, they've lost their way to that.
Mm-hmm. They've earned it.
Yeah. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Question for everybody. And Jamie will have a question at 7:30. As we sit today, would a Sweet 16 loss be a disappointment?
I mean, a loss in the national championship game would be a disappointment.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
But
right.
I get what the texter is asking here. Mm-hmm. Like, are you expecting more than that? I definitely think you are capable of more than just making the Sweet 16, and so that means getting to the Final 8. I definitely feel like you're capable, but I don't think I would come away feeling like, man, we left a lot of meat on the bone only getting to the Sweet 16. Yeah, as of right now, I'll say that. Yeah,
considering this, you've been to the Sweet 16 in your history 8 times.
See, that doesn't factor in with me. I'm just looking at what this team is right now, mm-hmm. and how good do I think they could be. I mean, I think they're good enough to compete with the best of the best in the country. I do. I'm just kind of feeling like 16 is, that's the back end really of what you're capable of. Mm-hmm. It feels like. I mean, we all know. I mean, usually the matchups in the first or second round. Or
sure.
You have a bad day shooting or whatever. That's what
mm-hmm.
makes the NCAA tournament so entertaining yet so nerve-wracking, all the above. I think you're capable of being better than just 16, but it's really hard to get to the Elite Eight.
It is. So. It is. I mean, You've been there twice, 18 and 19. So would I be disappointed? Yes, for all the things that you said. I wouldn't take it right now.
No, I don't think I would either.
I wouldn't take it right now. I'd like to roll the dice a little bit more and kind of see how the rest of the regular year plays out, because I think that you do have a chance to get better. I'll be really anxious to see how you respond to the loss to Arizona from Saturday when you play Arizona State tomorrow. I mean, you're the better team going into the game than Arizona State. You have the better record. You probably have more expectations. So
you're at home,
and you're at home. Yeah, that's all in there as well. So it's a big opportunity to kind of just go back and take care of your business. Arizona State is 3-9 in the conference. They're 12-11 overall. The only team behind them in the conference is Colorado, and they're 0-12.
Yeah, not concerned about this one at all. I think you'll see the team bounce back. I think that they probably feel, it was. I thought Coach McCaslin had a great comment in his post-game press conference about feeling like this was one that could kind of open our eyes a little bit and could be a good one for us. And I felt like the UCF loss was something that you learned from and you really got better defending on the perimeter. And I think this one has the potential to be a big help too, in the fact that, hey man, we got to be tougher. We got to be tougher inside. This whole toughest team wins thing, we got beat at our own game. If that's what we're trying to be. So I think this team will come to tomorrow night fired up to play Arizona State, and I think you'll see a really good performance.
For Arizona State, 2 of their 3 Big 12 wins have come against Colorado. January the 4th, they beat the Buffs 81-61 in Tempe, and then last Tuesday they won at Colorado 70-68. They also have a win over West Virginia on the road. That's a good win, 65-57. I don't care because West Virginia was ranked 23rd at the time.
Yeah.
And, I know that they're sliding backwards, but to go way out there and win, that's still really impressive, because I'm sure that was a raucous environment there. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line, okay? Somebody doing a little scouting report for us, Jamie. I watched Arizona and Arizona State play. Arizona State is scrappy.
Okay,
scrappy.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what you say about teams that are
not very good usually.
Scrappy.
Or not as talented.
Yeah, they play hard.
Yeah.
Fight to the end, give you a game, but at the end they kind of run out of gas, so to speak. Hey, going back to Matt Wells just for a second, who's going to be named the offensive coordinator at K-State, and he'll be the play caller. Do you wonder, like, just thinking about it now, I was just thinking about this going, what if Kirby had said, okay, we blew the game to K-State, fan base isn't on board, really like what he's done, we've made some dumb decisions on the field, my gut tells me to can him, but we've got all these projects we're working on, kind of feel like that the roster's been solidified more than it was previously. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep with him. Do you think we'd be where we are today?
No.
No. Yeah.
Our fan base had moved on.
It had moved on. Yeah.
You
donors had moved on.
Yeah, you had to make a move.
Yeah.
I mean, if just take away what Joey McGuire's teams have done on the field,
mm-hmm.
and it's been good. A little bit better than good. It's still, I think we would all agree, or most of us would agree, he's left some meat on the bone there that we felt like you should have had. So I'm not gonna act like it's been elite or anything like that, but it's been good. But what he has done and what his personality and who he is, I think he brings excitement. He brings interest, and I think he's helped along the way of getting the fan base fired up and the donors fired up.
Hope. He's brought hope.
Yeah, sure. And and obviously Kirby Hocutt has a lot to do with bringing the donors and the fan base to donate money and all the above and helping that as well. But I think Joey Maguire has definitely played into that. And that's part of the reason why you are where you are now, is that you got people that are willing to donate money to help you with facilities, and you've got people that are willing to donate a bunch of money to help with paying the athletes.
Yeah. 7:23 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Somebody says Joey makes dumb mistakes too. Well, we all do. Sometimes we don't do it in front of 60,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, all the above true.
Yeah.
Yes, so. I am not here to tell you that Joey Maguire is perfect as a human or a head coach.
Yeah.
And I'm also here to tell you that I am definitely not perfect as a human, and nobody asked me to be the head coach. So
I have a feeling that if you were asked, you would say, I think there's probably better qualified people.
I would. I care too much about Texas Tech to ruin it.
I do think, though, if, everybody got tossed, in a baseball game, Eric Gutierrez and J. Bob and Matt Gardner and Tim Tadlock, I think they'd go to the booth and say, Jamie, come down here and put some spikes on.
Hey, I think there's rules against that.
Come down here and guide the boys.
I think they would probably just have, I don't know, Dylan Maxey or one of those team leaders say, hey, hey, Damian Bravo, you kind of take over here.
If they had just say that they had a uniform in reserve for you, okay? Just play with me just for a second here. What number would you want reserved for you?
I would want Kyler Thompson's jersey, which is number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured you were going to say 2.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me at all. But somebody else has got that.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys today, and I want you to. You don't have to take your personal biases out, but
oh, good.
I'm trying to. I know that's difficult for some of us,
particularly one of us.
I'm just going to ask the question, okay?
Okay.
Who are the 3 most hated fan bases in sports?
The 3 most hated.
Professional, college. You don't need to go high schools. There's some high schools in the area I probably could throw out there, but
okay.
we're not gonna insult any of our listening audience.
The 3 most hated
in all the sports,
fan bases:
NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, college football, college basketball.
I think the Kansas men's basketball program is universally hated by people outside of the KU fan base. I mean, so I think in this town it's universally hated. I think from a Major League Baseball standpoint, I think the Yankees are still a team that's not universally hated like Kansas. I think they're still disliked, although I think the hate has gone off of the Yankees, and a lot of that's thanks to Joe Torre and Derek Jeter and what that group did. But I think there's still a faction there against them. And I think the new hated fan base or team that I think a lot of people felt like, well, they got what they deserved on Sunday are the Chiefs. I think I think that's the new hated team just because of the success that they've had in recent years. There's maybe
that's the only reason.
One of them. I mean, you asked for my opinion. I gave it to you.
Clearly, it's hard to take our own personal biases out, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right, Jeff, who do you think are the 3 most hated?
All right, so I'm going to give you the first answer that probably covers what you're asking. But I did separate this specifically. Philadelphia. Eagles, Flyers, 76ers, the city. Worst fan base. Like, they're passionate fans. They love their teams, but they are the people that booed Santa Claus. They are the ones that cheer injuries. They are the ones in every sport that have this attitude that everybody hates. It's not just football. It's not just baseball. It's not just basketball. It's all of them. So we start with Philly. Then I feel like this is everybody but us. Well, not but us. Like, but them that hates them is Ohio State. The egotistical fan of Ohio State. The Ohio State. You know what? The only reason you have to put the word "the" in is because someone else made an Ohio University before you were around. I'm sorry you were second. Third, I'm kind of struggling because I feel like those are 2 pretty big mountains to climb, especially since I'm putting all the Phillies group together. But it's hard not to put Texas in there because a lot of people go to the store and buy a shirt for their school they went to, and a lot of people go to Walmart to buy a Texas shirt. There's a reason that saying exists.
Okay.
And I feel like you're winning the morning, Jeff.
Well, wake up and eat your Wheaties.
Well, I mean, I have because maybe I'm not as much of a diehard NFL fan as other people. Maybe I didn't realize this as much, but it does feel like the Eagles fan base is the most hated in sports. Okay, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs fan base makes the top 50 in this category. Okay.
No.
Now, if you're asking for personal fan bias, my opinion will change. But I'm talking nationally. I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are anywhere near the most hated. I do think the Philadelphia Eagles fan base is hated. Again, whether it's the players on the field or not, I'm just talking about the fan base, and it feels like Eagles fans are hated. I don't necessarily agree with the rest of it. Your point about the Phillies and the Flyers and the 76ers, I don't really think people pay that much attention to them, but that's your choice, so you're allowed to pick that one. But I think the Eagles definitely is number 1. Number 2 on my list, I'm right with Jeff, Ohio State. I think their fan base is just the most grating fan base. I'm not around a ton of Eagles fans. I have not been in my life, and so maybe that's why I have not had the hatred. Obviously, I have Eagles fans that are now close to me, but that's different because they're close to me, okay? But Ohio State fans that I've been around in my life, oh my goodness, they're unbearable. And so I feel like that's number 2 on the list. And my third answer is just because so many people I think have a negative image of the franchise, and I'm not arguing against it or anything like that. I think it's the Yankees. I don't want to say it to be like cocky about it. I don't take pride in the fact that Yankee fans are idiots. Okay, Chuck takes pride in the fact that Kansas fans are thought of as arrogant.
No,
I don't take pride in the fact that the Yankee fans are crazy lunatics who are always negative and just miserable people. That's just pretty much how Northeasterners are for the whole part of it. But I think the Yankees fan base is pretty much a beat down too. So they're third on my list. Yeah, Notre Dame, Duke basketball, those honorable mentions for me. Yeah, they would be up there as well. I feel like the Notre Dame thing has kind of gone away though, because they haven't been as good of late. Mm-hmm.
I'd say Dallas Cowboy fans are probably worthy of being mentioned, but
they're probably on the list.
We've been awfully quiet the last year because we saw what happened.
Well, I feel like I missed the mark again, but
no, your opinions are your opinions. Everybody has different opinions. We're not all supposed to pick the same thing.
No,
it just happens that Jeff and I are similar.
I thought you guys had good answers, though, too.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Drive. Okay, I have potentially a question that's going to make you laugh out of your seat, okay, and laugh at me, okay. But I'm serious, Jeff, when I ask this question. You know, we've seen a lot of teams that have turned it around very quickly in terms of being not necessarily worst to first, but close to worst to first. How realistic is it for the Cowboys to be able to turn it around to the point where you feel like there is a contender, not to get to the playoffs, but a contender to make a deep run in the playoffs?
Who's saying they are?
I'm.
You're saying they're going to turn things around.
I'm saying, can that happen?
Not in the current form, no.
I mean, are you so headstrong that they cannot do it?
Jeff is very headstrong.
Yes, that goes without saying.
That does go without saying. Because in theory, with the amount of money that they have, and with the way that the National Football League works with salary cap and your ability to draft and your ability to change out your roster and get better, in theory, you should be able to be a better team than what you have been.
Yes, in theory.
Okay.
Not in practice. Because you have given all of your eggs to one basket, and you don't have any more eggs to give to anybody else to help the one basket that, oh, by the way, drops a lot of eggs.
Well, let's just say that basket, let's just say that they rework the deal of that basket so that they can figure out a way to help themselves.
That hurts you later. That's the other side of that.
What?
Yeah, we can rework the contract and turn in this year's salary and do a signing bonus, but that gets tacked on later, and you have to deal with it then. Is that what we're just trying?
If you did that now, if you reworked that deal right now, then Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott would both be admitting to making mistakes. Have you noticed either one of those guys being open to admitting anything like that?
I mean, honestly, no.
I mean, it hasn't even been a year since the deal was signed.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, is Dak going to all of a sudden be like, you know what? I need to be making less money so we can win? Are the Dallas Cowboys going to be like, holy cow, we should never paid him that much money. We got to find a way to cut that back if we're going to win. And are they going to say that to people? I mean, because that's, if they restructured his contract, that's what they would be admitting.
Well, no, the restructure is just change where the money is. The money stays the same.
Yeah, I know.
If not,
but
if
you could create cap space by doing it. Like you said, you're going to have to pay for it later. But
at some point in time, you have to pay for it. Is it hopeless?
I felt that way whenever they signed Dak to these two contracts 2 times now.
Yeah.
You were paying him the most money of any player in the NFL. When we say who's the best player in the NFL, how long does it take for you to get to Dak Prescott?
A long time, admittedly.
And the Cowboys are paying him that money.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's not bringing you elite results as a quarterback. He's not.
Yeah, it's not even.
And so
close.
It's not as if it's just, man, we got the best quarterback in the league, but we can't put enough talent around him. You don't have the best quarterback in the league, yet you're paying him like the best quarterback in the league, the best player in the league. And that's what he cares about. Dak Prescott's not dumb. He knew when he signed this deal, it would be hard for the Cowboys to win.
Well, because he made it hard for them because he wouldn't accept other terms.
So you let him walk. You could have
both
been
signed up.
free.
Yeah, they both signed up for, we've got a chance to be a good team. We've got a chance to make the playoffs every year, but we're not winning it all. That's what you signed up for.
The Cowboys could have been scot-free right now from this whole debacle. Because that contract hasn't kicked in yet. That starts next year. Dak's contract would have been up. He would have been hurt. He would be playing for somebody else or taking a massive pay cut to stay where you're at.
How many other teams would have paid him what the Cowboys paid him?
Nobody.
None.
Nobody would have.
You're competing against yourself. Yep.
None.
And how can Jerry not look at his team and go, if I win one more Super Bowl, let alone two, or what if I won three in the next 5 years, 8 years, what the value of his team is? I mean, if he wins one, probably doubles his money of a team that's the most valuable in the world.
I mean, Jerry's rich either way. I think Jerry very much longs to have the respect of being a great football mind. And there's reasons why he doesn't get that respect.
I mean, it's the same reason every year, too. I don't know. It's just interesting to me how you can have some, changeover in leagues, whether it's, Major League Baseball.
But you can't you can't change that much about the Cowboys because of that albatross of a contract.
Yeah. And it's probably going to get worse.
You can't draft a quarterback this year to try to fix it because, oh, by the way, you're still paying your other quarterback. So it doesn't do you any good to start over with a new quarterback.
Well, I mean, you could draft one and pay him what you're supposed to pay a rookie quarterback and all that. But are you going to play him over Dak? No, I mean you're not. So are you making your team better for the next year?
No,
you're not. And Jerry's he's not trying to wait 3 or 4 years before he wins. He's desperate to try to win now. Well, he should have thought about that before he signed Dak to another ridiculous contract. And Dak should have thought about that before he decided the only thing that matters to him is to win the who gets paid the most contest.
8:22 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Yeah, no, so it just feels like that no matter who they would have hired as the head coach, it really wouldn't have mattered because of the financial restrictions that you have with Dak and the others.
I really do wonder how many people turned him down. That's the number I want. How many people were offered the job and said no? Or how many people were asked to come interview and said, nah, I like where I'm at better than what you got going on there? Because this right now is a perfect situation to never get another head coaching position again. Because you've got no talent to play with, you've got no cap space to get talent, and you've got not enough draft picks to fill the holes you've got. Mm-hmm. So, again, I go back to my first question. Who's saying they're going to turn this around? Because I haven't seen anybody writing it or saying the Cowboys are 1 or 2 players away, a good draft away, 1 free agent signing away from making a run at the playoffs.
I mean, there's just so many other up-and-coming teams that I feel better about their chances, the Chargers or the Broncos of the world, that I feel better about their chances than I do the Dallas Cowboys.
Never
the
mind
Commanders.
that 2 teams in your division played in the NFC Championship game this year.
And Washington, you look at how quickly Washington has turned it around with their new owner and coach and coordinators and attitude, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, Kellen Moore probably going to be named the head coach of the New Orleans Saints today. I mean, if he doesn't take that job, that'd be the biggest shock, I think, at this point in time.
Yeah, it feels like it's a
Done
gimme
deal.
that the Saints have been waiting for him.
Yeah.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.